Hey guys, this is my random video on the education system. Listen, I love education. I think that education is the best, but I definitely think standardized tests is not. A lot of people have talked about this. A lot of people have said a lot of stuff, but nothing is going through. Some countries have changed for the better. I heard now America's changing as well, and I'm just gonna bring something in that is gonna hurt some people, and I definitely had experiences myself. Um, so there is a phenomenon called the suicide effect, and not a lot of people know this, but it is not only depression that makes someone commit suicide. There are so many other factors that we don't know that would cause someone to take their own lives. It could be pressure from their family. It could be, academic problems. It could be relationship problems. It could be the fact that they feel that they are neglected, that they're abandoned, that they have no one else to talk to. And personally, I can understand that because in 2014, I think the best thing was my mom to throw me to a job and my foundation, even though I didn't really want to go to the foundation because I already have fallen out of love for academia, because academia doesn't give me anything that I really want to. It's all about grades. It's all about, oh, can you score high enough? Can you score an A? Can you score a B? We are so used to the letters that we forget that sometimes it's not all about the letters. It's not all about A, B, C, or D. It's about how people can be people, how they can communicate with other people, how they can interact with other people, how they can innovate, how they can give more ideas to other people. But we have forgotten that part of our lives. We have forgotten how to be human. I think that we are becoming more and more computers, and the fact of the matter still stands that in the working world today, no one will hire you unless you have working experience, no matter how high your degree is. And the higher your degree is, the more unqualified you are, or the more overqualified you are, because people don't want people who have like super high degrees for, let's say, just like a middle of the road job. So it's better to always gain experience, and that will help you more, because people will then say, oh, okay, so you know this side of things, and now we'll show you this side of things. But there's also definitely complications in that. So there's just a lot of things that society has to deal with. So I'm just going to separate these two apart. Alright, so let's say this part is the schooling institutions. Schooling institutions were built to facilitate education. Now, while that is all well and good, how do we allow students to show that they know their knowledge? Something began called the standardized test. The standardized test was to show that they understood the material, they knew what they were studying. But as time went on, more and more kids became diversified. That means that their minds were no longer the same. Some people's minds were slower, some were faster, and just like the animal kingdom, we are not all the same. I may be good in math, but let's say friend A is not good in math, and friend B is good in science, and friend A is actually good in good at cooking, or just or cleaning, or even just talking about stuff. Like, I remember as a kid too, I loved talking about stuff because I was I was brought up in a family that encouraged reading and forced me to read, even though what I wanted to do was watch cartoons, and eventually I did, and I found out that cartoons had so much more story, even though books had words. But I think I became more of the visual person. I needed to see people move, people talk, and people be themselves, and people be human. And once I was thrown into foundation, and I did foundation in arts, I realized that art was so beautiful. Like, I already knew like Shakespeare and the Renaissance, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, all of the people made a difference in the world, but people forgot them so fast, and we only learn from them through literature and their pieces, but nobody encouraged us to follow in their footsteps, or to even dream of how they dreamt. It's always only Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and they are people who got to do what they wanted to do. Steve Jobs dropped out of his, you know, dropped out of his university. Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of his university. Um, Bill Gates dropped out of his college. These are the people that dropped out of academia to do something better, to do better for the society today. And so much has changed, and nobody wants to change with the times. Everyone wants the same. Everyone wants the degree. Everyone needs a degree, so called, but nobody realizes that we as a people have changed. We don't think the same anymore. We evolve. I think the bottom line here is humans, all of us humans evolve. And I don't know, I guess I did this piece because I have fallen out of academia already, and it's harder for me because I'm an Asian child, and I'm the only son because I grew up with three sisters. So the pressure is on me a lot to do everything and to do what my sisters did, which is graduate at 21. And I don't know. For me, it's harder and harder because my course is not an easy course. It's the high level math. It's Isaac Newton math. It's all of that math. Like, it is the U.S. math. Like, it is getting harder and harder, and I know you guys have it harder, and I really, really, for the bottom of my heart, I'm with you guys, because I now know that you guys were forced to do harder math in your high school. Like, that is crazy. You were forced to do calculus during your high school days, which I was like, holy shit, man. You all did calculus when you were in high school, and I did dabble in a bit of calculus, but not the high calculus that you all do. But my god, does your math scare me? Not everyone has the capacity that others have. Others may fall in love with academia, they may love to compete with grades and higher grades and higher grades, and so high that you forget what your life is anymore, and you stop living and started being a robot. Like, all the A's and all the high distinctions does not necessarily mean you can speak better, or you can write better, or you can even interact with people better, because that's the one thing that we all need in the society today. People who can interact better, people who can discuss, people who can create opinions for people to go, yes, that's true. Maybe, not just not agree fully, but just like, yeah, I get what he's saying, um, but I don't really agree on him, and you could discuss why, and I don't know. And that's why debates were formed, Toastmasters were formed. It was because we needed people who could form opinions, people who could throw ideas out of the box, of the confining of education in schooling institutions, because there was much more than plus minus b square root 4 b squared minus 4ac over 2a. There's more to that. um I don't know. And on the note of suicide as well, I realized that I cannot touch a lot on that, because I myself has had days when I just didn't think my life was good enough, and I wasn't doing good enough, because I'm not a smart person. I am not the academician that my parents think I am. I was never good at science. I forced myself to study science because they wanted me to study science, and I did my best, and I was foolish. I know. I fell in love, but I never wanted to continue after that. Like I said, no, I cannot do science. I cannot do academic, like academia anymore. I cannot do academia anymore. But my mom was like, no, you have to do a degree. You have to do a degree. You have to do a degree. And I was like, ah, shut up. Okay, I'll do a degree. And I didn't know what to do. I thought I was gonna do psychology, but then she was like, "No, there's no money." So I was like, "Okay, whatever." Like, yeah, I guess I'm good at math, so I'll probably do natural science. But even now, like, I'm like, holy shit, I made the fucking wrong choice. And I guess it really depends. Like, everyone's like, no, you need to talk to people, and people who can help you out, people who can facilitate you, people who would listen to you. But really, like, would you listen to your friend if he kept babbling on about his day, and you don't know how to help him, you don't know what to do? um and it's always good to say, yeah, go to your peer constellation, go to your teacher, counselor. But the bottom line is, it always roots itself back to family, or to something deeper than you can understand, and nobody can understand you but yourself. Like, so that's why the argument comes in that it's very self-inflicted. And people always say, suicide is only for like attention, like don't do it because it's like stupid, you'll hurt other people. But you know what you don't want stupid, you don't want stupid. Like, forcing someone to do what they do not want to do anymore, and to say, oh, and to say, oh, if that guy can do it, why can't you? It's like, hey, that bird can fly, why can't my dog fly? It's like, dude, there's two different peoples, two different minds. Yes, we have the same body. Yes, we have the same brains. No, we do not have the same minds. That is the difference here. Brains and minds are different. Brains work on a biological level, minds work on a psychological level. It's very two different things. And I love talking about this because I really did want to help people. I really did. When I felt so hard, I had to help myself up, and I said, you know what? Maybe I don't want other people to experience what I did. Like, the internet helped me so much. I read so much self-help stuff online because I was too lazy to buy my own books. I read a lot of psychology stuff. I watched a lot of psychological shows, like Lie to Me, and The Mentalist, it all helped me. Even shows that didn't do with psychology but dealt with the spiritual science, like Avatar, The Last Airbender, um, to Legend of Korra. There's so many things that helped me, and that's why I started doing YouTube, because I wanted to show that I really do respect that side of things, and I really want to pay it back by showing my love, by talking about it. Um, and I really think that we need to wake parents up. Like, I know parents think they're doing their best and saying to their children just to keep doing academia, but academia can only help us so far, parents. Academia is just one stone, and that's it. One big stone, and that's it. And there's the fucking ocean. You need to fucking dive in there and find work, which is very hard, even with a fucking degree. Trust me on this. You know what? Like, I'll make it more personal by saying my second sister actually is doing what she loves, and my family ridicules for her for it, and I don't know why. I feel so sad for my second sister, because you know what? At the end of the day, she's doing what she loves. Um, you know, even though she's still stays with us, I think, you know what, like, just let her find her way, to a better paying job, or, that's still in her wheelhouse, you know. But I guess that's something that they deem is not bringing a good name to the family. I don't know why. It is very much of the Chinese mindset. Um, and I will be honest, guys. I am very scared for myself now, because I don't know if I will make it through this semester and manage to get an internship next year, because my parents always and my sisters always say you need to graduate when you're 21. Because my cousin sisters didn't graduate when they were 21. They graduated in 22, and they got really cool as well. So I don't know, like, it's hard for me to talk about this without being emotional, because I know what ran through the minds of people who committed suicide. Like, there were 3 cases in my university of those people who did commit suicide in my university, and it was no joke, because even though, my friends and I usually joke about, like, doing it, but it's really no joke, because it is very serious. And even though we usually pass it off as a joke, deep down inside, I know that there are thoughts running through your head, like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I really do bring my parents shame? How can I look them in the eyes? How can I see them the next day? And what my mom said today is like, focus more on your degree and not on this. And I'm like, you don't know how words can affect you, because if you say something wrong, or if you say it in a way that people could perceive it as an attack on you, your mind straight away goes into anxiety, like, Am I doing something wrong? Am I not a good person for doing this? And it's always a hard thing. So yeah, that was about it, guys, and I will see you in the next video. See you.